Hello, this is Daniel from KC Allied Health, and this is part 2 in managing bunions. In our last video, we covered the majority of the easy exercises. Now we're getting on to the tricky ones. Remember the tissue exercise where you're scrunching up your toes? Well, this is the evolution of it. What you're going to do is you're going to start by doing the same movement, trying to scrunch up the tissue. But notice my arch as I do this. Can you see my arch is picking up just a little bit as I scrunch? Eventually, your goal is to learn how to raise your arch up by itself without having to use your toes. Now, this is a short foot exercise. It can take quite a long time to develop your ability to do this. If it helps, think of it like you've got an invisible string tied around the middle part of your arch, and you're trying to pull that string upwards, lifting up just that part of your arch, up and down, up and down. You should feel a little bit of fatigue on the inner side of your ankle as you do this. Next step, be careful of the footwear you have. Here you can see some of my old Converse kicks, and I love these shoes. I wore them everywhere. Problem is, they were a tiny bit too small, and as you can see, they're a good example of a shoe with a very narrow toe box. This wasn't appropriate for my wide foot, and eventually you're at risk of the toes being squished in. Women's shoes like high heels or shoes that like to taper your toes into a point, those aren't going to be useful for dealing with a bunion at all. Understandably though, the better shoes for the bunion tend to look like clown shoes. These are my runners. As you can see, they have an enormous toe box, but it's far more appropriate for my broad foot type and for my bunion that I've got developing there. There are some products out there. There's braces and orthotics and other forms of support, but it would be best to speak to a podiatrist to go into more detail about that. For now, let's just use Physio Cream. Physio Cream is a good generic cream that you can use on just about anything as long as you don't mind the smell of tea tree oil. And if you are starting to get some red skin or irritation or calluses around that first toe joint, then Physio Cream would be appropriate to apply. Hopefully this has been useful for you in managing your own small and developing bunions, but if you need help, you are more than welcome to contact professionals. KC Allied Health would be more than happy to discuss your feet with you. Until then, best of health. Bye-bye.